other people coaching our kids. And I'll set this up with a quick story, which is that I was visiting with my son, Tiger. He's 10, for anybody who's out there listening for the first time. I was talking with his teacher. And I feel very educated in the space of growth mindset, the Lasado line, 3-to-1, 5-to-1, positive to negative comments. And we've been getting this report from his school that basically points out where he needs to grow. And my point to the teacher and to this system was I was trying to coach them in coaching my kids in that, hey, we should be catching their strengths also. If you're only sending home a report that says this is where they're deficient, that's not good. and I really stood up in that sense. So my question is ultimately around, as parents, we don't want to be helicopter parents where we're overseeing everything and protecting our kids and managing right? But at some point, where do we need to be involved in coaching the coaches or selecting the right coaches, right? So I'm getting into like teachers, sports coaches, all that stuff. So how does that show up for you? How should men be involved or not involved? Israel, you want to take that one?
Sure. Homeschool your kids. That's what we do. That's not a good idea for a lot of people. There's a lifestyle attached to that. But honestly, John, that is a reason we chose that lifestyle, which was because we had more control over the influences of our children. He doesn't just get a second grade teacher. He gets the influence. And it's not just my wife all the time. He's in a co-op where there's multiple moms under a specific homeschooling philosophy where they get to, they're taught certain things. And, gosh, in all transparency, my kids are pretty young, so I haven't had too many experiences with that. What I can tell you is that we have had to break relationship on experiences where there was a family that just really lived philosophically different from our family on a fundamental level, on just something just on certain beliefs and how they approach raising their kids. And we had been close with them for 2 years. And it was so hard. And my wife and I, we just had a conversation, and it was more her than me because she was spending time with this other mom, and she was just like, gosh, I'm struggling with this. Like, because because ultimately, right, kids also influence our children's kids. And that is a derivative of the parents' beliefs and their lifestyles and their philosophies. And there was an interaction where something occurred where we're like, that's a line that we can't cross, that we don't want our kid to be swimming in that pond. And so we just, we didn't just stop returning phone calls or anything. It took some time, but she had to slightly rebuild a little bit of community around really the supportive network of who she wanted to be around. And so for us, it was, what's great about experiences like that, Johnny, is that it allows a parent to be more fortified in their own philosophies and their beliefs, so that they can stand strong and firm with their children, regardless of the environment that they're in, but also to be a stand that their kids are in the right environment. I'm not saying that's one thing out of probably, a dozen great things about the school that your son's in, right? So as far as that goes, we do get protective of the environment in respect to making sure that it aligns with our philosophies as a family. And as far as having that conversation, we've just kind of designed our life to, just be in the conversations that are aligned.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that honestly, and truthfully, I don't know if that really honors, what your question was.
No, it does. It does, because part of understanding coaching is not only how you talk to your wife and kids at home, but it's being aware enough about what good coaching looks like that you would want to say no in certain situations where something's toxic and you'd want to create a new environment or make changes, or where you could be in pursuit of something. So we've had situations with our sons where it's like there's a gray area, I feel, that requires you to be involved to make a good decision, because it's not black and white. It's like, hey, is that situation, it's tough, But that's actually good for him. He should be in a tough situation. Everything shouldn't be perfect, right? So I'm going to let that actually ride out. Or no, that situation's like clearly going to be damaging psychologically. There's no like, well, he'll be tougher as a result of it. It's like, no, get him the fuck out of there, right? That's done. And then there's another one where you're just like, that's one of the best coaches. And I don't even care if that's the sport that I think he should be playing. That coach is amazing for his soul, right? And so I think there's a lot of dialogue there, but really what it involves is a dad stepping up, being engaged enough to know their kids and know the situation, to be present enough to make powerful decisions. That's what I think is the most important piece.
Yeah, man.
Drew, what's your take on all this, man?
I love what you guys are saying. I love what John Israel just said. And that's especially when your kids are young, because those first 6 years are super important. So the environment that you choose, the environment that our kids grow up in influences them so much. They become their environment, and their environment becomes them. So there's no really messing around for me. During those early years, maybe later on we can put them in more and more challenging situations where we, help them grow their resilience. But early on, you got to have the right place. You got to have people that you trust and that you're aligned with. And so, yeah, you do have to be really intimately involved, and you got to check these places out as a father. Know where your kid is going. Know what you want. Know what you stand for. Know what is a non-negotiable, and then choose accordingly. And here's the thing: it may cost a little bit of money. Like, we send our kids to Montessori. It's the best option here. It's by far the best option for us and what we're aligned with philosophically. So it's like, yep, that's where you guys are going to go. Here's the thing: even in the healthy environment, you're going to have challenges. Nobody's perfect. Was it yesterday? I went in. I met with the staff because there had been an incident at school, and my initial thought was to judge that incident and to come in with fixes. And then I slowed myself down. And I got aware, and I got grounded. I thought, what do they really need here? How could I serve them the best? So I went in and I had a meeting with them, and I asked them how I could support them. I said, listen, it looks like this is happening. This is my take on it. Would you agree? We all agreed. And I said, how can we collaborate on making this a better environment for everybody? And it was just gorgeous. It was lovely. They said, yeah, please come and do a workshop for us. We'd love it. And so, yeah, I agree with what both of you are saying.